Welcome to Strongest Style, a pro wrestling podcast. This is episode 1 of the newest venture of the previously known as WWE Boys. I'm your host, Logan Hurston, and I'm joined by a cavalcade of co-hosts, Mr. Gimmick Killer himself, Cooper Prater.
Hello, everybody. I'm here to try my best and show my fighting spirit.
And he's big, he's large. Some would say he might be a giant, Mr. Jack Dudley.
Episode 1. Wow, that's strange to hear. I can't.
The Phantom Menace.
I know.
This is
the first start for all of us.
This is the first time you two have been on an episode 1. By the way, neither of you were on the original episode 1.
We were not.
That's right.
Yep.
We outlasted.
Yeah, we outlasted the field.
Yeah.
If you don't know,
I won over Rambo.
If you don't know, me, Cooper, and Jack, along with our good friend Noah Phillips, and some other faces from time to time, hosted a podcast called WWEGL, which had much higher quality. But right now, we are now self-funded, which means two things. One, we will be lower quality for a little bit, but it's all up to us, and we can say and do whatever we want. Freedom of speech, baby. So, Cooper, tell them what you know. Say, I'm going to let you 5-minute rant on capitalism. Go ahead.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay, you're going to need more than 5 minutes here.
I'm just waiting for... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, fuck the Fed. Which
there we go.
Our catchphrase. This one.
You beat me to it. I was like, who's gonna drop the first curse word on the podcast? That was really what I was about to say.
I was just itching, man.
You were
itching to do it.
Even though our former podcast are WWEGL, we do not plan on really talking WWE on this podcast. The good news is, if you really want to find that stuff, there's new hosts of WBGL, and they're full Fed heads. So, knock yourself out. You want to continue supporting that program. But for here, we only talk real wrestling. Ain't that right, boys?
That's goddamn right. Real grass.
Yeah, goddamn right. I don't know what else to say. I was always the last bastion, and it's been grating on me too much lately. I think we got to move on from the Federation for good.
I mean,
it's just bothered me.
I'm sure it'll be mentioned in passing and stuff like that. Go ahead.
I think we will absolutely have to talk about the news coming out of that organization, just because it is so big and it affects other stuff. I mean, you see, just for instance, this past weekend with the All Out WrestlePalooza business. Like that's a big talking point that I think it would be neglectful to not bring up. But I mean, in terms of like in-depth like show reviews and stuff like that, that's not really, I think, the vibe that we're trying to have here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jack, go ahead.
Yes, I was just gonna say it's a weird time for the sport right now with the way the industry leader is heading. We don't have to talk about it too much now, but like you said, it affects discourse just for everything all the time. So it will come up, no doubt.
For sure. And I mean, like, I don't think any of us truly watch, but I mean, you kind of can't avoid it. Like, even if we're not watching WrestlePalooza, we're going to see, oh yeah, Brock Lesnar, the guy who was named 55 times in a lawsuit, is wrestling and squashes John Cena on his retirement tour. Great guys. I mean, good company, man. Nothing wrong with that. But like, we're not gonna, no in-match reviews. Definitely not talking about Raw or SmackDown or NXT. For all you gooners out there. But we're this is.
I would say, maybe this is to say more about how I've curated my timelines and stuff. But I have actually not been seeing all that much about WrestlePalooza lately. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just too deep in to dub territory.
Well, that's good for you. Go ahead.
I was just saying it was a strangely uneventful show for like the big ESPN debut, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, that's lucky for you, man. We went to a college in the South, and I was watching us play football, and then CM Punk in the middle of a drive pops onto my TV screen, so it's kind of unavoidable at this point. For my other hobbies too, because they're just all on ESPN now. So
Everywhere I go, I see CM Punk's face, but that's just in my head.
Yeah. But yeah, this is Strongest Style. We're probably going to be doing a lot of AEW focus, a lot of New Japan focus, because me and Cooper, we're true. We fight for the rights for the AEW. I would say lifers at this point, unless something drastic goes down. And Jack is.
Hey man, we were in there for 2023. If that didn't stop us, nothing will.
Yeah, we were in there for. Into 2023, started 2024 was rough, man. That was rough. I mean, we literally on the last podcast, I said 2 episodes in, we're done talking about AEW after that Dynasty match, man. But they won me back. They won me back. What can I say? I can't quit them. And then if we're going to the nation of Japan, specifically for New Japan Pro Wrestling, Mr. Jack Dudley is our expert over there. Watches nearly most shows.
I try my very best to keep up with everything. I have for about 3 years now. It's something I like doing, and I'll try and lead the focus when we go over there. It's not too exciting right now. We can get into it later, but I always have a passion for Nuge no matter what.
Oh, for sure. And there'll be other focuses on this podcast. I'm sure we'll talk. Today we're going to talk to CMLL. I'm sure we'll mention some DPW. Cooper has more of a knowledge on that than me. He's been paying more attention, but I'm about to jump fully back in, especially with this Carolina Classic coming out today. This is recorded on Sunday, September 21st, so we record every Sundays now. So if for some reason you're like, why didn't they talk about this pay-per-view? That's why. Want to go ahead and put that out.
Early Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, early Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't know us, done a podcast before, I would say let's go favorite wrestlers. Let's go ahead and knock off some of your favorite wrestlers or current wrestlers. I'm not gonna slander you guys like we did in the last episode, so I'm gonna let you take the lead here, Jack and or Cooper.
You want to go, Coop?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'll be the sacrificial lamb here. I'm just kidding. I don't think any of my picks are that controversial. But then again, they are my picks, so I would say that. Wait, do we want to narrow this down to like current or all time, or how are we doing this?
Let's do favorite all time, favorite current wrestler, shout out an indie wrestler, and make sure you have, we'll do male and female. We'll do, and non-binary if you want to do that. Hit all our bases here.
Yeah, sure. So all-time wise, I mean, it changes kind of on the day. But as of right now, where I'm leaning personally is the I just can't let go of Punk, man. I just can't.
Oh my god, dude!
I think there's
truth in that. I've been watching his ROH stuff.
That's fair, man.
And his IWA Mid-South stuff, and I'm sorry, he really is that good.
He's good, man.
Truth in that. I like that.
Huh?
For sure.
Mm.
I connected with him really early on. He was not my first favorite wrestler. That was either Rey Mysterio or John Cena. I forget exactly when. For reference, I started watching WWE in like the 2010, 2011 period when I was a very tiny little child. And that was kind of my first wrestling experience as a whole. And so the folks who were around at that time kind of, influenced how I saw things. So Punk, just the memories that I have of him, before this latest return to WWE, are basically spotless and, are just too important for me to let go, regardless of how I feel about his current career trajectory. And in terms of women's wrestling, I have recently done a big deep dive, I'm trying to do a big deep dive into the career of Aja Kong, who I think is just basically as perfect can be for a women's wrestler. The perfect heel, in some instances, the perfect babyface. But yeah, and also somebody whose career has aged interestingly, for different reasons, I think.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Sure.
Oh, and current wise, the one that really hit me like a ton of bricks in, I want to say, maybe late middle school, early high school was when I've first found out about like New Japan and stuff like that. And Kenny Omega was very much my gateway into that. And so, I'm one of those folks that like 2016, 2017, Kenny Omega stuff will always get me, and so now I'm a easy mark for him. No matter what, no matter how long it takes for him to get back into anything, I'll be waiting with bated breath. And also in terms of women's wrestling as of right now, Willow Nightingale. I have just so many voracious opinions about how she should be used on AEW that I'm sure I will get into as we get later into this podcast. But she's just once in a lifetime kind of babyface, and I think that her work is actually very underrated still.
Yes. Jack, do you want to go? Or he's not done.
No.
Can you guys hear my cat meowing?
I cannot hear your cat, but if you want to bring him or I don't know the gender of your cat actually.
Ellie, she's
a girl.
She's a lady.
Yes, she's a wonderful 7-year-old lady, and she's very upset that she is outside of the room that I'm in right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, I had to make sure. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. It's great audio though. I was just gonna say, I recently got a little dog for me and Sarah too. It's been a challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What's the dog?
Her name's Lady. She's a little terrier.
Well, this is Lady. This is the lady that you texted us about accidentally.
Yes.
Yeah, the very same.
That must have been so confusing for you, Coop.
Cooper didn't even know about her.
Yeah.
I mean, I picked up context, but still.
Yeah, that's sweet. Okay.
No, I am, as any true wrestling fan, I am in my mom's closet recording this, and I have locked all my dogs out of the room. This is normally their domain, so I'm surrounded by dog hair, and I got a bunch of boy dogs, so they're all old as dirt. But, yeah. You have anything else to say about your favorite Cooper, or you want to hand over the baton?
Oh, you did say that we should shout out an indie wrestler.
Yes.
In this, and for that, I might be stealing your pick, Logan, depending on how you are going to answer this question.
I swear.
Because Mad Dog Conley is, I think, the most interesting person in the world of wrestling today. And when I say today, I mean Sunday, September 21st, 2025. So, I think that he's just the perfect like embodiment of the kind of unpredictable nature of wrestling, and he's one of the few people that genuinely feels like properly real and dangerous in the business today.
Yeah, and he's bald now.
No, Mad Dog baldly, more like.
He's got a giant scar on his head. I guess you never noticed that with the long hair. But, yeah, I saw him lose that. I'm like, oh, he's definitely not going to lose that hair versus hair match versus Demas. And, like, no, he did. I don't know. That may make him more scary. I think being bald by choice is always a more scary fact. You want to take it away, Jack, or you want me to?
No, absolutely. I'll start us up. No, I'm not one really for giving my bests of anything. That's something I'm sure will come up a lot. I struggle to categorize like that when I feel so many wrestlers are so different, and I can appreciate so many different forms, but I will give it a shot. I think for the last 2 years or so, if I had to pick one favorite wrestler, it would probably be El Desperado, who's been heralding the junior heavyweight division in New Japan the past few years. He's been their ace. He's probably the bright spot of that company still. He's the one really consistent, the one guy that consistently feels like a big deal still when so many people struggle with that in New Japan. And I do love juniors and the history of junior heavyweight wrestling just in general. So a lot of the time, for my favorite all time, I'll end up saying Liger, but I don't want to say that this time because I want to give a shout out, I think, in the spirit of what Cooper said, to two guys I really like back in the day when I was first getting into wrestling. The first two people who I really started to appreciate like a higher quality of in-ring wrestling when I was a kid that really opened my eyes to that was when I would watch in the 90s WWF, when I would watch Brett matches and I would watch Owen matches. And I loved the Hart brothers so much in the New Generation era. I loved their dueling characters for those like year or two that they were feuding with each other. And they're probably, in some deep way, two of my favorites all time, no doubt. For current favorite women's wrestler, I watch, when I can, Stardom to New Japan's sister promotion, and I've tried to more lately because really it's the hotter promotion of the two by far, so I want to get in on that and experience that. I love, out of anyone on the Stardom roster right now, I think Suzu Suzuki is probably my favorite. I like how different she is from the rest of the roster, and I like her sort of smash mouth brawling style. She's the leader of Mi Vida Loca over in Stardom, and she comes from the deathmatch scene, even though she's made it big in this in Stardom. She's really got a similar trajectory to Noah Phillips's favorite in AEW, Moxley, when you think like that. I'm trying to think of women all time. I really haven't watched that many older women's matches, which sucks and makes me a bad person, no doubt.
Don't worry, I'm in this.
I haven't watched that much old All Japan women's, and obviously in America, like, there wasn't quite as much mainstream great women's wrestling until lately, so I'm not as familiar. I do love, I really love Mercedes, obviously, nowadays, too, and her stuff that she was doing, like, 10 years ago as well. Shoot.
It's all right, too, by the way. I mean, we'll, in the course of this show, also, I think something that we wanted to try to do was to, delve into wrestling's past a little bit. Occasionally we'll maybe do kind of like a retro review sort of thing on a match or show or something like that. And so, there'll be plenty of time to learn up in this.
No doubt.
For sure.
In that case, I'll leave this blank for now. Maybe I can become a less evil misogynist in the future when we review all that.
Your words, not mine.
Yeah. For indie wrestling, I used to watch a lot more. Now I watch a lot more sparingly, but I try to catch it when I can. But really, since I started watching about 5 years ago, the two guys I've always loved more than anyone is VIF. Guarini and Kevin Koo. They've been my favorite
friends of the show
ever.
Yeah, friends of the show.
Yeah, friends of the show. We've seen them live. They're amazing, and they've only gotten bigger since I was really into indie wrestling about 5 years ago. So props to them. Props to them for sticking with the indie scene for so long. I'm sure they probably could have transitioned to being mostly like ROH featured at least nowadays, but they seem to really like traveling the country, like that. I think it's a really cool how they've stuck around for so long in the indie scene, and yeah, they're just fantastic.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
I love that every once in a while you'll just see Kevin Koo take up a security guard gig in AEW for the money, and then he just goes right back to these like little bingo halls that DPW runs.
He does it, and he always has like the funniest smile on his face in every segment. You're like, that guy's not a security guard.
I wonder if he knows that he's Kevin Koo.
Yeah, well, I guess that leads to me. Favorite all time is always hard. There's like there's never like, again, all time, there's a bunch of, I agree with Jack, there's a bunch of different wrestlers. I'm a big guy, so I naturally gravitate towards big guys like Vader, Hanson, Keith Lee, but I would be remiss not to say, if I had to put on a GOAT watch, if I'm going personally, I'm saying Kenny. If I'm going off of my mind, who I genuinely think might be the greatest professional wrestler of all time, I'm saying Danielson. At the basic, basic answer, but even especially with like
Monticello has invaded your mind.
I mean, dude, he can do everything, and he's tiny. It's awesome.
It is true. It's not wrong.
No. But yeah, he's definitely invaded my mind, and now, especially more now that he's like on commentary and great at that. It's like, what can this guy not do? And he's a good person, so that added bonus there. As for current, as we know, yes, he does talk about apple semen a lot for some reason, but
that is true.
If we're saying favorite current male, ooh, that's a hard one. I'm gonna have to go. I don't know, man. I love Eddie Kingston. He just came back. I think I'm gonna go with him. He was originally gonna be my Halloween costume. Hilariously, who Jack said is his favorite current wrestler, is now going to be my Halloween costume. I'm going to be El Desperado if he went from junior heavyweight to super heavyweight.
Oh, come on, Logan.
It's going to be awesome, bro.
Are you making the mask? That is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm getting I bought the mask. I am learning to sew sequins onto pants.
What? Wow.
I bought his G1, his Best Super Juniors 31 winning shirt. Because the only mask I could find is the red one, so I'm like, I need a red shirt to go with it. As for women's, I am much like you, Jack. I'm not as well versed in the history of women's wrestling. I've gotten my pockets and stuff like that, and again, like a lot of WWE fans at the time, I've seen a lot of women's wrestling in WWE, which was not treated well at times. But with that being said, my personal favorite all time. That's probably because I've seen the majority of her career from the indies to WWE indies to WWE to leaving to going to AEW to becoming probably their greatest women's wrestler currently. I would say Toni Storm. This is like, if even before the timeless gimmick, I'd probably still say that because I've followed her career for so long that I'm like enthralled with her offense and stuff like that. And then currently, Cooper took Willow, so I'm not going to say that. Because I don't want to say any of the same answers. Though me and Cooper do.
I mean, you can just be right.
Yeah, I mean it is right. That's objectively right. Is Willow, but I'm going to stick with the indie women's wrestler, and I'm going to say Dani Luna. She still has my heart at all times. Her and Nicole Matthews. Nicole Matthews up there, someone else that like underrated goat of women's professional wrestling, talking about the indie scenes for how great she was in the early 2000s to like now having another career resurgence and being reminded how great, and like putting in match in and match out DPW, like she's up there. And then for my indie wrestler, when you said Mad Dog, there was like a sigh of relief. He's up there for me, but you know who I'm gonna pick, man. Ball game, bro.
Ball between the two.
Kozone. I mean, I like, I love flips. I love high-flying stuff. But, like, pro wrestling speaks to me the most when it's just big men slapping meat. And you do not get that more than when LeBron Kozone is in a match. If you can do a good lariat, I will watch any match that you're in. I mean, Hangman is the exact example of that. Like, just hit your lariat good, and I'm there. I'm there, man. But, yeah, I'd have to say Kozone for my current indie wrestler. I'm glad you guys got the whole spectrum of DPW people I would have said. Because I was thinking VIF too. I was like, oh, we should have done tag teams. But luckily Jack got that out of the way.
Yeah.
So
a whole other conversation.
Similar minded. Yeah. Well, speaking of tag teams, I think we should just go ahead and jump into AEW All Out. And we started with, as quote unquote, two of the greatest tag teams of all time opening the pay-per-view. How do you feel about that, Cooper?
Those quotes are doing some carrying, I think. I don't know that I quite agree with that statement, but I mean, two important tag teams, sure, but the greatest, okay.
Yeah, Edge and Christian I like Edge and Christian. They're great. They're better solo wrestlers than they are as a tag team, and also they aren't the best of their era. I love them. I would say the Hardys and I think the Dudleys are better than they are. Do you think I'm being unfair saying that?
Yeah, for the Dudleys. Yeah, you're right for the Hardy. The Dudleys were in those three. I think definitely the least, and that's not even me trying to be like a massive tribalist with how
Bully
Bubba
Ray,
has turned out over time. Yeah, I mean, those Attitude Era teams in general. I mean, those three stood out for a reason because they were doing stuff that the mid card wrestlers, which is where tag team wrestling was placed at that time, weren't doing. And Edge and Christian, I think, largely stood out just for their personalities, just because their real life friendship bled through so much, and they were like just genuinely really funny guys that it seemed like it would be cool to hang out with. But yeah, I think have definitely shined more as solo wrestlers, such to the degree that now their tag work seems a little disjointed, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely agree with that statement. It was an interesting match. I think FTR, though, I mean, you could definitely say up there for
FTR
this
one of the
era.
best tag teams of all time.
Yeah, and definitely up there for this era, specifically. Like, they're 1A or 1B, between them and the Bucks. For longevity especially. But yeah, I mean,
I think FTR is a top 5 all time tag team.
I've always loved you about for FTR. I mean, they've been there for much longer now. I've always loved them. They've been great forever.
For sure. Well,
I was riding with the Revival, brother, in NXT. I know. Yeah.
You acting like that's a big deal. Everyone is riding with the Revival in NXT, brother. Black and gold.
Man, now we're the old men, Logan. Now these kids
don't remind me.
Today they talk about the Chase U and Hank and Tank.
Okay.
That's
Whoa. Slow your roll there, buddy. That should be let's put a bookmark on that top 5 greatest tag teams in your opinion topic. I definitely want to come back to that on a later episode. But the match on hand, I thought that was fun. It was, what you would expect a Copeland and Cage tag match should be in 2025. I thought Dax and Cash were doing some excellent stooging. And I thought the build to this feud was done pretty well, especially once Christian broke Dax's nose. I thought that was pretty awesome. Sold the visual for me on September to Remember a lot. But the match itself, it was fine. Beth Copeland coming out was pretty cool. It felt like a weird finish to me. I don't know how you felt about that.
The match or the post-match?
No, the finish of the match before the post-match finish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, I mean, the old ex-WWE guys, man, you just get stronger with age, apparently, is how it works. So.
It's the grit era, Cooper, and we're just living in it.
Yeah. For those who didn't watch, so the build to this match primarily was or not the build to the match, the build in the match rather, was the waiting to get Adam Copeland in to run wild and avenge Christian, who got quite a bit of offense on him in this one. And but when Cope does get in, FTR take advantage and hit him with 2 pretty much back-to-back shatter machines.
Yeah.
And then he kicks out at both of them, and then hits one fairly weak-looking spear.
And then Christian holds the feet. Yeah. No. This is what happened. Because I watched it and I was like, wow. Because I heard it was like a weak finish. He hits the first one. He kicks out. They hit him with another one. And it looks like they're going to hit him again. And they're like, he's out on his feet as like Cope is just standing up like normally. And then Cash goes over. He hits a super weak spear. Dax gets his feet held by Christian in 1, 2, 3. And that's it. I was like, what? Okay.
I know. It was,
because like
I knew that the likelihood of FTR winning was low to none, But still, just the way that it worked out was very strange.
I think like the first Shatter Machine or Big Rig, whatever you want to call it, him kicking out is fine. But what they should have done is, I don't know why they hit the second one for him to immediately get, like, you get hit by 2 and that finisher normally like takes people out 1, 2, 3. Like, you shouldn't be immediately getting up. They should have hit the first one, then they should have got ready for the second one. Him crawl up, spear, grab the feet, then I can at least believe that a little bit more, even if it was a weak spear. But hey,
yeah, have some separation maybe. But
Beth Copeland, she's pretty cool. She beat up Stokely.
I did love Beth coming out. Yeah, it was funny though that her Tron just said Beth.
Beth, yeah, and metal text.
Yeah. But no, she's awesome. It is weird a little bit to me though, too, that in universe Beth Copeland seemingly only comes out to give Cope like some kind of like trauma event because this was the same way that they used her in WWE during Edge's last run there was getting the concerto by the Judgment Day and all that.
That is true. Well, I don't know. Athena's clamoring for her to challenge her for the Ring of Honor title now. It's her dream match, so maybe we'll get that.
Oh, that'd be dope. I'd love to see that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I do want her to actually like get involved and like I don't know, maybe
she's gonna beat up
like a no DQ match against Stoke or something.
No, she's gonna have a no DQ match against Mother Wayne, brother. She's training.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, FTR immediately gets their heat back after the finish with Kip Sabian running down, handcuffing Cope. They beat up Christian, hit him with the what do we call that? The pile driver from where they jump off the top. Assisted pile driver.
Oh, they call it I think Goodnight Express.
Yeah. And they hit Christian with that. They start looking at Beth. She kisses Cope, tries to fight him off. She gets hit with the Midnight Express, and that was pretty much the end of did she get carted off? I
don't remember seeing it. I do remember just Cope like not struggling too much against the handcuff and just being like, "Let me out! Somebody let me out!"
I just remember seeing that, and then I was like, all right, let's skip forward in time. I got 5 hours of a pay-per-view to get through. But then we get to the return of Eddie Kingston. What a rough first 2 matches to start with. I love that Eddie's back. I'm overlooking this because Eddie Kingston is back. He looks good. He is selling pretty well. He just missed one move, and everyone's, immediately like, this is terrible. I will say Tony Schiavone being like, he got none of that, and then immediately going into the pin was not the greatest decision there.
I know,
commentary.
Yeah, somebody probably should have briefed Tony on what the finish is going to be.
And then Brian was like, I think he hit him right on the chin, whip shot, and trying to cover for him.
It was so low on the jaw that he got knocked out immediately. But yeah, my hot take, I guess, is that this is a very good match.
Yeah,
and I really, really did enjoy it a lot. Literally, yeah, up until the finish, which I knew kind of like that. It was just like a pure placement kind of thing. But still, it does not fare super well to for your big comeback match. But I am such a big fan of Eddie. I am absolutely willing to overlook that.
I'm the same way.
I don't even hate the idea of having his first feud back be with Big Bill. I think that's perfectly fine. Bill has grown into a really solid worker. And you get two big old New York boys slapping the piss out of each other. Like, what's not to like? So
for sure. And I think I'm
gonna bring my cat in here. I'm sorry.
You're good. If he would have hit the move, I think it would have been a brilliant finish. Because he hit the first back fist, Big Bill kicks out at one and immediately stands up, and him just catching him twice there would have been a perfect just like got him for the seconds too. Because I think they're still, even with bringing Eddie back, I think they're still trying to make Big Bill more credible and stuff like that. So I think the finish worked out in that way, even though it just didn't connect very well, which I don't know if that's really on Eddie or if it's on Bill or just miscommunication there. But the good thing is
you can't really pin blame for a move like that on one party or another. It's kind of a both. Either Bill was too far away or Eddie was too far away. Well, they were both too far away. That's
for sure. Also, the most important thing, Eddie's back and he's immediately crapping on Claudio with the Claudio Sucks Egg shirt. So
I know, I love that. Completely unrelated to this feud that he's been placed in. He just wants to take another shot at Claudio.
For sure. But hey, Eddie Kingston's back. All is right in the world. I'll say this. This was the theme of, I would say, the whole night was a lot of OGs of AEW, a lot of important people who's been there for a long time making their comebacks, a lot of older wrestlers, which we'll see later on. But then we get to one of the best matches of the whole night, possibly the best, depending on how you feel about it. Mark Briscoe versus MJF in a tables and tacks match.
Well, this man had a tough weekend.
I think, actually, before we get to that, let's get into CMLL 92nd Aniversario, what MJF was doing less than 24 hours before that in Arena, Mexico.
Beating the piss out of Mystico. That's what he was doing.
Like a true American hero. I honestly think that match might be my match of the weekend over any match in the pay-per-view.
Well, yeah, I think it was. I liked it way better than anything on All Out. That was like the most meat and potatoes professional wrestling match like that I've ever seen, and I love it so much for it. Just such a pure, simple, black and white morality tale. Mystico. I've loved seeing people rediscover him and come back around on him, but put on just a generational performance, through just a river of blood coming out of him. So
that match was literally the purest form of pro wrestling I've seen in a long, long, long time. Full throwback, foreign heel invader, disrespecting the sport, disrespecting the mask. Immediately, the blood, I think without the blood, I think the match was great anyway, but the blood really, catapulted it to another level. Just from the start, Mystico immediately gushing. And, by the end of it, the whole mat was covered. And his blood just pools everywhere. And Mystico's selling of it, too, was just great. I love when wrestlers sell, how much the blood loss is doing to him. Go ahead.
The slipping on the ropes.
Yes.
Trying to get back in. Yeah. That's such a great little touch that I've never really seen done before.
And even after he won, when he tried to celebrate and couldn't get up the ropes because he just had so much blood loss, was so good.
Yeah.
And him just coming back, just the spirit, when he finally got in the ring for the 20 count, and he was just convulsing, you could feel the spirit trying to rise out of his body, but his body just wasn't cooperating, was perfect. But then MJF goes from that match where he did not bleed, he only got Mystico's blood all over him, but he did lose to La Mystica, going straight to Toronto to face Mark Briscoe in a tables and tacks match. Some might say Max may have bit off more than he can chew. Because when I heard this match originally, I was thinking dog collar, or I don't know. I just was not thinking ever in a million years that would be specifically only tables and only tacks. Because when is the last time this match has ever happened, or has this match happened before? Do you know any?
I think this specific variation is the first time.
I've never heard of a tables and tacks match before now.
Yeah. I feel like it had to have happened at some point, knowing wrestling. Some people were like, we're going to have... It feels like it's a spin the wheel moment off of a 2000s Raw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't...
Tag Tax were always the big draw of the Monsters Bowl matches in TNA, but I mean, still, still a unique thing.
Yep.
You know what I've like headcanoned an explanation for this for myself. I think that when Mark and Jay Briscoe were itty bitty little backyard wrestlers first starting out, I think that they had a tables and tax match, and that's why he wanted to do it. It seems like the kind of thing that they would do.
That would make sense. Yeah, my thing.
There's nothing to support that whatsoever, other than just my imagination.
Nope, that's what we're going with. But yeah, when I thought of this match, I did not think of the ungodly amount of tax that they were going to use. When I started it and Mark Briscoe just took 4 buckets full of tax and spread them throughout the whole ring canvas, I'm like, oh, this is going to be something different. Like, every bump was just like, golly. But it made it so much interesting because, normally like you do a tax spot, there's one tax spot, maybe 2. You get like one area of the ring you're trying to avoid. But it's like, what do you do when the whole canvas is screwed up? I
know. And commentary was fantastic for this too, like just emphasizing how much of an inconvenience it is to have literally the entire mat just flooded with tax for so many reasons. I think Danielson did the best job of it. He was like, well, obviously you don't want to fall, but even if you don't, if you're still up on your feet, like the tax getting embedded in your boots is going to make it slippery. Like it's going to be hard to move around. If you're the ref, you don't want to, fall on the ground to count the pinfalls. Like there's just so much, hazard that goes on with a coverage of a weapon this vast that you don't normally see.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was, it was brutal. MJF, hilariously, again, most of it, later on he got some blood, but a lot of the blood early on were Briscoe's, and he had his head in between his legs, and I saw a very funny visual.
I saw that too.
Yeah. But, a rough weekend for MJF, and even though he said Mark Briscoe is ultimately a loser and should never be a singles wrestler, Briscoe picking up the win, refusing to die, finally hitting him with that J Driller after multiple froggy bows. Oh my goodness. Perfect. MJF putting on 2 of his best matches in a long, long time, and like that in less than 24 hours is crazy. It proves that, again, people kind of overlook and overtake him, and like underestimate his talents as a performer. I feel like a lot of times it's like common to like crap on his shtick and stuff like that. And sometimes it does get annoying, but like when done right, there's very few who do just the most despicable heel better than him.
Yeah, the shtick is kind of the thing that I think can absolutely hold him back from this kind of potential. So much of his stuff outside of the ring is so like, either you vibe with it or you don't. Sometimes I think it is, measured well to the intensity of the feuds, and other times I think he just is looking for a pop, just to get that sort of reaction for himself. And it's because of that so many people forget that, when it comes down to these big blow-off moments in his feuds, I think he's one of the best in the world right now. It just has such a great understanding of his character and how to tell these kinds of stories.
For sure. But yeah, anything else to say on this match before we move on to the newly crowned Demand?
Oh, I forgot that's what they were called. I will say, in a match later on here with Mascara Dorada and that 3-way for the unified title, you heard commentary talking a lot about like, it's been so tough for Mascara Dorada. He just wrestled CMLL last night, and he had to come up to Canada today. It was like Max did the same thing. Like,
yeah,
you guys were talking about that.
So did Hechicero.
You know? And Hechicero too.
Yeah. For sure. But yeah, we move on to a trios contest between the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP, making, I believe, his in-ring debut in AEW.
No, that is not correct.
When else did he wrestle?
He did wrestle in another, I think, 6-man tag on a Dynamite one time.
Okay.
I forget who it was up against. I think this might have been during, maybe during this, like, the Swerve Hurt Syndicate stuff, when, like, they were introducing Bobby into it.
Yeah, maybe. That could make sense. But, yeah, this is one of the first few times, I'll say this. It's not a very regularly thing. Though
yes,
he is...
I think it is only his second one.
Yeah. Versus the newly named Demand, which are the Gates of Agony, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona, and, of course, Ricochet, all with the matching Ricochet gear coming out together in this... I guess, is it One Piece inspired gear or Naruto or something, right?
Some nerd shit.
Some nerd crap. Yeah, for sure. Let me shout out Toa Leona, because him and Bobby Lashley on September to Remember, brother. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
They were
meaty men slapping meat.
They were hooping. I'm like, everyone's like, why don't we just give Big Bob a singles push? He's still great.
Yeah, I know. I saw a number of posts that were along the lines of, like, you know, yeah, like, Hurt Syndicate stuff has been, like, kind of annoying, but also maybe they have a point. Like, you know, maybe they should never lose to anybody.
Maybe they just hurt people. Have you considered that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, they're kind of awesome. Like, maybe we should just let them do what they want for a little while.
Yeah, yeah. Your favorites have to get better at politicking. That's all it is.
This is a good match. I thought it was pretty good, and I'm very happy that the man got the win. You know, like
yeah, so am I.
I was like, yep, the Hurt Syndicate, they're gonna win this, easy money. But then they came out with the new name and they targeted MVP and they ultimately were able to get the dub, and it, like, I mean, I felt like it was much needed. You know, Hurt Syndicate have barely dropped any matches, as a unit at least, since coming in. Bobby, I don't even think, other than that tag match, has a loss. Like, other than losing the tag titles, he hasn't lost a match, I think, in the company yet, has he?
Yeah, no, I think that's right. Certainly not in a singles capacity. And yeah, I mean, once they got the belts, they were winning constantly. So yeah, the only time he's been involved in a loss, I think, was then.
Yep, Shelton's dropped a decent, not like a lot, but he's definitely dropped a lot.
Shelton's the pin guy in the Hurt Syndicate.
Yep, but you know, they didn't even get pinned for losing the tag titles. It was, you know, it was
it was in the triple threat.
Yep, FTR got pinned. So because they got taken out by the Demand, so it was very nice to see them. And like that also dispels a lot of things. A lot of people were like, there's a lot of rumors that they just don't want to do business with anybody, which I don't think is true, and I never have. You know, there was rumors that like they hated Speedball or MVP did, and stuff like that. And they've said, I just don't think they want to put over the older guys. They want to put over more younger talent. And like someone like the Demand, though Ricochet's older, like Bishop Khan and Tony Leona are newer on the scene in AEW. GOA hasn't had. They've been very good for a while, but haven't had too much, you know, street cred kind of thing. They haven't been able to get a lot of wins and stuff like that. And so to put them over a newer act, even if it is getting the pin off of MVP, still feels very big to me. I wouldn't be shocked if the Demand goes and beats the Ops soon, with a lot of this turmoil that's going on between the Death Riders and Shibata, and you know, Shibata's been losing a lot lately, and you have the Hook stuff that like the Demand goes and like sneaks one and takes those trios titles away. I also wouldn't be shocked if we see this feud continuing, or maybe the Hurt Syndicate might be recruiting new members because MVP realizes he don't got it no more.
I think the trios titles are a really great direction and where they should go with the demand next. I think MVP, you can really tell, I think, loves GOA. Like, I think they see a lot in those two dudes specifically. Yeah, I mean, in terms of where the Hurt Syndicate goes, they had so many loose threads to pick up on, which is why I like this feud that they've been in, because it is picking up on a loose thread from earlier when the Hurt Syndicate debuted and were handing out the business cards to everybody. And there were so many people that they handed them out. I think it was they gave one to Leo Rush and to Mercedes and to, I don't know, like Lee Moriarty or somebody. So now to kind of like, I want them to sort of keep picking up on that of like, hey, when you guys first came in, you made, some promises to a lot of people. So seeing how that's played out, I think could be an interesting way to go with them.
For sure. But then we go to our first women's match of the night. She's back. The GOAT is back. The NXT Slayer herself, Riho, taking on the
Big
Riho, taking on the TBS champ Mercedes Moné for the TBS title, going a solid 16 minutes. This, to me, is just crashing the threshold for a match of the year. I don't know about you, Coop, but I thought this was a very good match.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What does Riho do for the rest of the year? Does she wrestle anywhere else?
That doesn't matter, Jack. That doesn't matter.
I'm just curious because I know what Sheeta's doing when she's gone, but I don't know if I've ever heard of her wrestling anywhere else except for the 1 month a year where she comes back to AEW.
I think she is primarily or was primarily before getting signed to AEW like a Tokyo Joshi Pro wrestler.
Yes.
Okay.
But since then, I know that in between her AEW stuff, she has occasionally gone back and done some Tokyo Joshi stuff. But then I think there are just some months where she is not wrestling, or if she is, it's in those super super tiny little Japanese indies that run Shinjuku Face Arena and stuff like that. So
there's nothing wrong with that. I'm truly curious. I never hear anything about her except for a few matches every year.
Yeah. I know she's not I don't think she's ever been a Stardom person or anything on that level.
No, she seems to just do her stint and then do whatever else she wants to do. That's kind of based. Get work. Hey,
honestly, yeah.
Get paid more, work less. I love that mentality. That's
true.
She's a true Good Brothers mentality.
That's why Carl Anderson is a GOAT.
That is why he's the GOAT. Sorry, we should have done tag teams. I could have mentioned the Machine Gun. Another reason on this episode. But yeah, I thought this match was solid. What do you think, Coop? I need to know.
I really liked the in-ring action of this match. Mm-hmm. I think that that in and of itself is probably, match of the year contender quality, right? However, there are multiple other aspects that go into making a good match. And one, unfortunately, I do think is crowd reaction. And the crowd was really letting this match down, I think. They were weird kind of the whole night, honestly. I thought they were oddly quiet in spots where it felt like they should pop, but they were pretty silent for the majority of this match. Which, I mean, regardless of how good it was, felt. Oh, sorry, I don't know why my phone suddenly did that, but regardless of the quality that they were putting on, it made it feel empty in a way.
Yeah, I would have to agree on that aspect. I think the crowd the whole night sucked. They got good for certain things. What's funny is I honestly think the biggest pop of the night was when Hangman went to do the One-Winged Angel later.
Probably, yeah.
Because they came alive for that. But, like, yeah, the crowd was not into this, which sucked because I think it was a really good match. And it was really interesting because I think they put it over a commentary well that, like, Mercedes normally is the quick wrestler. She's the crafty one. She's never has the strength advantage, just like the one time she does. And Rio's just outpacing her completely. And her having to work around that and change her style, I think, was done very well. Also, Rio's gear was awesome, and her doing the CEO taunt was pretty good to me.
Yeah.
Popped me hard. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, talking about the differences in strategy that Mercedes would have to use in the match. I think like they showed just like the Riho double stomps versus like the Mercedes Meteora. It was like such an interesting little like bend on the match, and the ways that they found to how she would avoid it or get around it were really interesting.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I'm happy to see Riho on my TV screen. I don't know how much longer we're gonna have her, but hopefully she sticks around for a little bit. That's my hope. I think maybe she might, because Tony is supposed to have an announcement on Dynamite this week, and a lot of people are speculating, that there's nothing valid here, that a lot of people have heard a lot about women's tag team titles. I don't know if it's going with that. A lot of people think it might be that. People also think women's C2, which I would especially be down for, but I don't want the C2 to be another women's belt. Not that they can't have another belt, but I feel like 3 belts is a lot. Like, even for the men's, like the Continental belt, the tournament itself is cool, but a lot of times the belt, like, there's just too many belts kind of thing. So I would like to see it be like a title shot, a guaranteed or wherever you pick your spot, or maybe like a contract thing, but But
yeah, to be fair, I don't want the men's C2 to be for a belt either. So.
Yeah, same here.
But I do. Yeah, there's no excuse not to do it with the amount of talent that they have.
For sure. Especially,
and I think that with the tag belts too. At this point, I know the hesitation there was because they had a lot of people injured for a while, but I don't know. It seems like they've got a lot of folks back.
They can definitely do it, and especially when you factor in like Ring of Honor and stuff like that, and even people they don't even have full contracts on, that are just AEW regulars that can be brought in off the indies, stuff like that. You can have a tag division. I just don't like any tag division that's like full of Franken teams. It'd be interesting to see, because a lot of people were like, okay, they're going to do these tag belts, and Willow and Chris are definitely going to win them. But, like, that doesn't seem like it's going to happen anymore at all.
Oh, definitely not now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And, so I'd be interested if it is women's tag titles, who goes for that. Because a lot of, there are still plenty of women's tag teams. You have Sky Blue and Julia Hart. Are they the Twisted Sisters?
The Sisters of Sin.
There we go. Yeah, they're the Sisters of Sin in the Triangle of Madness, which is Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Tekla. But that's a dedicated team. Megan Bain and Penelope at this point are a dedicated team. You could do, now with Tony freed up, you could do Tony and Mina, Harley Cameron, and I guess at this point Willow, since Stat just won the title. You could do Stat and Marina if they push her towards the Death Riders. And then...
Oh, that could be really interesting, actually, yeah.
Yeah. And then, and you have Tay and Jay. There's enough tag teams where you could definitely do it. And then you could also have, like, Riho and Emmy team up as, like, a trainer-mentor thing. But we'll see. It'd be interesting to see if they end up doing that. We'll find out this Wednesday. But I'm hoping Riho sticks around for a little bit longer before just, enjoying her life for the next, 6 months till she comes back on TV. But we go from...
It would be a nice change of pace, at least.
For sure. I really want the women's C2, though. Like, there's so much talent on that roster that I would love to see, like, multiple hard-hitting women's matches every week, that don't feel like an afterthought.
For that, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd be super interested in that.
For sure. Then we go to the 3-way for the Unified Championship. Kazuchika Okada versus Konosuke Takeshita and Mascara Dorada. It's a lot of A's in those names. Not bad for my speech, not great for my speech impediment. But this match banged, bro. 21 minutes, and it was perfect because we've been they planted the seeds for this Okada Takeshita feud for forever, but they just haven't fully pulled the trigger on it. It is the first time they truly come to blows in a while, and having Dorada be there as the glue of we don't have to have this match now, but we're definitely going to have it down the line sooner rather than later, and giving it out. Because Dorada, that boy was hooping in this match. I kept laughing, and every time he kept targeting Takeshita, and Takeshita would just throw him out of the way, and he would just throw Kazu to the ground, hit him with a Hurricane Rana or something, or an arm drag or something. Poor Kazu was just getting bullied by Dorada for majority of the match. It was awesome.
Yeah, this was the Master Dorada showcase match more than
sure.
It was anything to do with Okada or Takeshita, really, which is fine by me because he is my favorite of this new crop of CMLL luchadors that they've been bringing over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's definitely one of the ones with the brightest future. And even when I was watching 92nd Aniversario, they were putting Dorada over pretty heavy on commentary throughout the. I think CMLL knows he's their future thing. I wouldn't be shocked if he, like Hechicero, is about to get a dual contract type of thing to keep him in CMLL for a longer term, along with him being able to do AEW dates without the fear of him being poached.
Yeah. Oh, they'd be stupid not to. Because you're out of your mind if you don't think that he's one of the folks on the WWE AAA radar. So
for sure. But yeah, I'm not afraid to say it. This is definitely a match of the year. What do you think, Coop?
Yeah, I don't know that I'd go that far.
Oh my god.
Hold on. I like the match a lot. I think it was really good. The closing stretch, absolutely just phenomenal. No notes on the last 7 minutes of this match. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if they had that same kind of energy and pacing for the rest of it, then it would be a match of the year for me. But I think it took a bit to find its footing, and it took a bit to find kind of the dynamics with this rivalry with Okada and Takeshita, where they're focused on each other, but they have to focus on Dorada to get through this match. And the multiple elements here, I think, just kind of took a while to click into place. Once they kind of really settled into things, really what it was after that one camera shot, that close up of Okada and Takeshita together, that you heard the reaction from the crowd. I think then they kind of clicked into it.
For sure. But yeah, Okada remains the Continental Champ. Basically, Takeshita goes to hit Raging Fire. Dorada tries to hit a roll up. Takeshita keeps the momentum, holds him up, puts him down for Raging Fire. Okada comes in the ring. He doesn't. I don't think Dorada even kicked out. I think he didn't even get the pin there. Did he?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Okada and Takeshita start going at it. Takeshita hits him with a rolling forearm. He's going for a big lariat off the rope. Kazu gets up, hit him with a drop kick on point, and the sell backwards for Takeshita here, where he falls down and hits his head, clips it on the back of the rope, and I'm like, okay, that's gonna stun him for a couple seconds. And Okada's just able to pick up Dorada, hit him with the Rainmaker for the 1, 2, 3. Basically, get the pickings of Dorada at that point. I think it was a very clever finish. Because again, you can't have Takeshita lose here or get pinned. The dude's about to challenge for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship in a month or two. You can't have him losing in any pinfall way for any reason right now. And I still think they're going to do that feud down the line. I'm sure you think that too, but this is a clever way to keep it going, but also not fully Takeshita doesn't lose any shine here from not getting. He didn't get pinned, and you're able to still keep a spotlight on him, which I feel like that's just kind of what AEW is doing right now. because he's so involved in New Japan currently and has a good chance of winning the world championship and possibly going into Wrestle Kingdom as the world champion, like, you can't really do much with him. You can't give him another title because, again, you'll be screwing over your partners and stuff like that. I mean, you can do all these things, but if you're a good partner, you don't. So I think this was
they're in this weird kind of middle ground with him at the minute, where it's clear that
super weird.
Both companies want to put him in a top spotlight, but just because of the logistics of it, they can't. So
exactly. Mm-hmm. So I feel like AEW is like keeping him around, but definitely not like pushing him as much as they normally would, just because they know he's probably going to be in Japan. Dude does not work the tour shows, but he will be at the big shows. No tours for Takeshita, but he will be at the big shows, and because of that, I don't feel like they're pushing him to actually like hold a title right now until after he has that, either the match where he doesn't win the IWGP, or he wins it and has his reign.
Yeah.
Because there was a part of me that I thought he might hold the Unified and IWGP, but I think that might be a little too much on both ends. But
I think that's just too complicated to deal with, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know about all that.
You think that might end up happening?
I think it might, and what's more, and this is maybe my most out there prediction, I think that might happen in Japan at this year's Wrestle Kingdom.
With Okada? Then you might be right. We can talk about it more later when we get to the Japan section, but we'll wait and see.
That's kind of, I think, the pie in the sky sort of prediction for that.
Have a super duper unified championship.
That would be crazy, though. And the unified, but also like it makes so much sense. But part of me is like, Okada literally just left. I mean, imagine how crappy again we push down the Three Musketeers, the Reiwa Three Musketeers. Like, if after all this, none of them main event the Tokyo Dome again, and Okada just comes back, and then it's literally.
Do you want Shota again? Do you want Umino?
No, of course we don't want Shota. Who wants Shota? But I mean, like, Yoda's ready. Suji's ready.
He's busy messing around with 2 years in the dojo. So
2 years in the dojo.
We can talk. We can push it back to later. I have a lot to talk about, and I don't want to ruin it now.
Okay, well we got a little bit lore at this AEW card, and we'll hop over to New Japan.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't want to push it. I'm just saying I could say more.
We have the coffin match next.
Yay!
Jon Moxley versus Darby Allin. We did not get any 2 years in the dojo in this match. Every other Death Rider was there, though. This match, when it started cooking, I mean, like, when we got deep into it, it reminded me because I just watched, we were mentioning DPW, I watched Dominic Garrini versus Mad Dog Conley in a no-holds-barred match, no disqualification, and this reminded me a lot of that in the ways of, like, these guys just look like, this isn't professional wrestling anymore. They're just trying to kill each other, and it's kind of awesome.
Yes. It was so scrappy.
Yes. Dude, when Darby was, like, getting choked out and he grabbed the fork out of the thing and just started going to town on Mox's head, like the into the ear, the getting the bag, the diving, is it Tope Suicida that he pushed him into the coffin? What would we call that move? I just call it the Darby dive at this point, where he just goes.
Yeah, sure. We can say it's Tope.
Yeah, where he just, I mean, nobody does it better than Darby, just throwing his whole body at you with reckless abandon. I really dug too Mox's character work in this, where he's like, he still is kind of doesn't really want to put Darby down, even though he knows he has to, and like sending the other Death Riders away, and like even like he shouldn't have won the match. The only reason he did is because Pac came back. Like, I definitely think it's sooner rather than later we're going to see either Claudio or some of these Death Riders turn on Mox. But I just thought the whole match was done well. I thought Danielson on commentary especially made it so much better, and him pulling out the bag to be like, do it.
Oh my God, yeah. The Danielson aspect of this was really what pushed it over the edge. This was my match of the night, by the way. Spoilers
Yes.
for that. Yeah, like the payoff for that promo that Darby and Brian had on Dynamite, and seeing the promise being, I won't interfere in your match, but I will give you an advantage and let you live out this my revenge vicariously through you.
Yeah.
It's like the it was oddly like, I don't know, the like Ian Danielson was a spirit haunting this match, even though he was physically right there.
Yeah, right, and wasn't doing anything. I love, too, whenever he pulled out the bag, Tad's like, you said you're not interviewing. He's like, I haven't stood up from this commentary table.
I know. But yeah, that and just the scrappy like intensity of it. This is one of those matches where like I feel like I should be watching it on VHS tape, right? Where I feel like I should not be able to tell exactly what's going on. It was so uncomfortable at points. Darby just absolutely being a freak of nature in what he can put his body through and still get up from. But I love to just seeing these chinks in the armor of Moxley since the All In loss. This version of the Death Rider character is one of my favorite things in all of wrestling at the minute. I'm not ashamed to say that at all now. I think that showing that he is, at the end of the day, he talks all of this, big game, but ultimately he's a coward who will take any measure that he can. He talks a lot about principle, but really what it is overwhelming with numbers and letting your henchmen do the dirty work for you and all that sort of stuff. So
for sure. Also, Pac with the new haircut, guys.
Hate it. Hate it. It's awful. He looks like a little lad.
He does look like a little lad.
That's and first of all, not only just the fact that he has his new bowl cut, but also like wearing street clothes all of a sudden.
Yeah, because he was like the one member who like almost never wore street clothes.
I know, he was always in his gear in like broad daylight. It was so weird, but yeah, I guess now they've introduced him to clothing.
He looks crazy.
He did look crazy.
I didn't even recognize him at all. He looks crazy. What? When was the last time he cut his hair?
It's been years, man.
Oh my God, it was unbelievable.
It might be decades.
Oh, for sure. It like before, like he was Neville in NXT. Like,
I mean, even when he was Pac on the Indies at the end there, he still had like hair all the way down to his shoulders,
Right.
I don't know if I've ever seen him with short hair.
I know.
He had the
now he looks less like an orc and more like a hobbit now.
Yes. For sure. But yeah, very interesting. And then we eventually got. I loved all the Death Riders like taking Darby out in the coffin, and then we got the backstage segment later on, where Mox is like,
that segment was crazy.
Yeah, basically told the rest of them to leave, and he's like, "I love you" or whatever, and still, but you had to do this. And then Darby tops out, hits him with the pipe, and lights him on fire.
I know, that was crazy. And like that legit was, I think, just Mox getting set up. I don't think they did any trickery or whatever.
No.
Even though, so I was very, very worried about how that was going to go.
Especially too, because like
they had extras just off camera rush in with a fire extinguisher.
Especially too, because like it burned through the bag so quickly.
I know. That was gonna chew him up if they waited even a second longer.
I love too the them putting it out and then Darby like fighting the guy with the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
He's like, let him burn, let him burn. But then we go to the Fatal 4-Way for the AEW Women's Championship. Timeless Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, Tekla, and Chris Statlander. The build for this feud was all right, but the package they did, I think, was really good. I don't know.
Oh, brother.
Yes,
Let me
dude.
tell you about that video package. That was the best edited thing that AEW has ever put on, ever.
Dude, I know
Who was the one guy that like constantly made those edits on like Twitter and stuff?
Tiger Style
Pro?
Yep.
That's him, I think.
Has to be, right?
Yeah. I mean, God, just the frames within frames and the different film effect over it. Oh my God, it was awesome. I loved it.
It was awesome.
This is my little media studies major brain out there, so.
And having Tony do the narration of it too.
Yeah.
And so I've been seeing
4 ways to die.
4 ways to die. I'm a woman looking for my murder. But I've seen mixed things about this match on Twitter. I think everyone's happy that Stat won the belt, but they're not happy with the way Stat won the belt. But I'm curious how you guys feel about it, because I have a certain way of feeling about it. So I want to hear what you think first, though, Coop. And what you think, Jack.
You know about Stat winning?
Yeah. And how she won.
Cooper. Well, since Cooper's probably going to have the more in-depth answer, I'll go first. All I'll say is that I was very surprised, and I love Statlander, and I always have. She's one of my favorite women's wrestlers around. And I know Tony's been champion and the top woman forever and ever and ever. And I still thought that she had more legs left doing that. So I don't know. I was a little taken aback. And like I said, I don't watch weekly like everybody else here, and most people who would be even commenting on this. But I don't know. I kind of was hoping that Tony would still be the top woman for a little bit longer. I mean, she, I think, has been the draw for that division for as long as she started doing, well, not quite as long as she started doing this, because we all know that it was rough at the beginning, but as long as, like, since she caught fire doing the timeless stuff, since her, like, I guess excursion to stardom there for a bit was where she finally figured out how to make it work. I mean, she's been holding the fort down. She's been the big draw, and I just don't know if Stat can live up to that right now. I know that's a bit of a backwards way of thinking, maybe, but it was surprising to me. It's a very Noah Phillips way of thinking. It just, I don't know. I doubt the decision is all I'll say.
What do you think, Coop?
I mean, I understand where Jack's coming from. Absolutely. Those are absolutely like super valid concerns to have about, taking the belt off of somebody who is unquestionably not only the biggest women's star in your company, but just one of the biggest stars, period. I think the timeless character has so drastically kind of overshadowed everything else in the women's division for going on two years now, and to shift away from that when it's still so white hot in terms of crowd reaction and popularity is a choice for sure. I think it'll work out though. I have plenty of faith in Chris Statlander. Anybody who I think has seen her Mercedes matches or her any of the Willow matches, specifically the no DQ from last year's All Out, will know exactly what kind of a immense talent that Chris Stat is. And I now my worry though is that because they are putting it directly from Tony to her, I think she's going to be seen as like kind of tame in comparison, because she doesn't really have that big character kind of thing that Tony does. In ring, I think it's comparable, but character wise and in terms of what she puts across in her promos and her segments and everything, it is definitely a more toned down persona that she has. Although I hope that they can maybe counteract that with some of this, Wheeler Yuta Death Rider story that they are playing up with her, and that played into the match because she won with the seatbelt pretty much, right? Like, yeah, so
Yeah.
showing those influences seep into her, and kind of either if she does fully give in and join into this expanding Death Riders with Daniel Garcia in as well, or if she finds a way to reject that while maybe retaining some of the edge that they imply. I think could be some interesting story material there for them to inform the rest of the reign. But yeah, I do get for sure the worry when coming off of a story and a character as big as Timeless Tony Storm. I mean, that's just, but it's going to have to end at some point. So so
That's true. I mean, it's the same thing, but I guess like in Ring of Honor, they've had Athena as the top attraction, and she's been also doing her thing for what, forever. I guess that's the gimmick, right? So it's shocking.
Yeah, very much.
I guess that's the like you said, everything has to end at some point. It's just it definitely came out of nowhere. So
yeah,
we're in this era of immense title reigns.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I feel two different ways around this. A lot of people online are upset because, I mean, nobody was upset that Chris won. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone wanted Statlander to hold the belt or hold it at some point. I just think a lot of people were expecting. AEW has done a very good job about, like, you have a good feeling when something should happen most of the time. And it'll either happen around that point or, like, very soon after. And a lot of it is, like, built things. There's not, like, a lot of, like, surprise moments a lot of time with a lot of these big titles, like the women's title reign, stuff like that. Like, I mean, you could definitely feel like when Tony won it last, when Mariah won it before her, and Tony held the title and stuff like that. Like, a lot of these, like, okay, this is her time to hold the title. This is then, this is now. But that's part of the reason I think I really like this decision is Tony has done everything a woman in that company can do with that title at this moment. It doesn't mean she's never going to get it again, but like she beat Mercedes, who's at the top of the world right now and is the first person to meet Mercedes while she's holding the TBS and have like whatever 7 or 8 belts. She beat Athena in Texas, Athena in London, where she's had this 1,000-day reign with the Ring of Honor Women's title, where you're like, okay, this feels like the conclusion point for her reign. She beat Bane, who came in that was like hot fire and came in, and people thought maybe should have taken the belt from her. There wasn't too many challengers she hasn't already beaten at this point that could have perceivably taken the belt. The two would be Stat and Willow. And the story that they were telling here with this match being the 4-way, that Tony was almost overzealous at this point of, I'm at the top. She's still a babyface. She was like, I'm looking for my murderer. I want someone to take this title off of me, but I don't think anybody could. And I think, though it is very much a surprise, but I think most people were coming out of this thinking Tony's going to, pin Jamie or pin Tekla or something like that and get a win, a victory. I think having Stat win, especially with the seatbelt, it extends this Death Rider storyline they're telling. It's not over. This is the first chapter of it. And on top of that, this could definitely lead to, if you fully turn Stat heel and you keep her heel, and then you have full babyface Willow going for that title, and Willow getting her first win over Stat, I mean, that's money right there. At the same time, you also have, I don't think Tony's done with the title either, especially by her reaction to this. She was like kind of happy, but kind of like that felt wrong. It didn't feel like someone emphatically beat her. She just got the roll-up win. She got the seatbelt. It wasn't like she was able to really knock her out and take the belt, So I think it leads to a lot of interesting avenues. And I don't think there was anything Tony could have done more with that belt than she already had, beating challengers and already having people that like would have taken the belt. I think Stat's like the best option we have at this point, other than like Mercedes getting her second challenge and winning the belt, which I personally wouldn't want. I think Stat needs this more. So I was very happy with the decision, and I'm very excited to see where this goes, especially because a certain someone might be coming back Wednesday, and I would like to see how he reacts to her holding the title and winning with the seatbelt. Somebody else who uses the seatbelt, some might say. Was it a tribute to Wheeler Yuta, or was it a tribute to Mr. Orange Cassidy? That's the real question.
Nobody's debating whether or not he does the seatbelt. He does that for sure.
But there's definitely more dissension they could do. So I'm very happy with this title win, though.
Okay. I get it. I get it for sure. I was just shocked, like I said.
Yep. Oh, no, and I was shocked, too, in the moment. I was like, really?
You're not wrong to be shocked. It was I think very very much the kind of intended reaction. So
especially it happened after in only less than 12-minute match. It was 11:55. So it still felt like the match was cooking, and then all of a sudden seatbelt roll up victory.
Yeah. But I will say, I mean, a lot of my optimism maybe is contingent on them actually having a character plan laid out, which as much as I would like to say otherwise, has not usually been AEW's strong suit with any of the stories, but especially with their women's stories. So,
for sure. But yeah, that's good. Then we move straight on to the four-way ladder match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. You have the champs Brodito, Brody King, and Bandito versus the Young Bucks versus Jet Speed, which is Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, and the Don Canellis family, the Franken team of Hechicero and Josh Alexander, Yo Soy, Jack Dudley. But yeah, this is the one match I did not watch. I watched all the pre-show, and I did not watch the match. I did not have enough time. Not because I'm sure this was a fine match, but I've seen a lot of AEW ladder matches. I think the ladder match is a good stipulation for fans who've never seen one, but if you've seen most ladder matches, especially multi-mans like this, you've seen most of the spots you're going to see in this match. There might be some gnarly stuff, but it's very few that we get something truly innovative because it's just been a tried and true, stipulation at this point. And I don't even feel like, Cooper, you'll have to tell me because you've seen the match, but I don't even feel like people are really talking about the match more than the moment that happened after the match,
Oh yeah, 1000%. Yeah, don't get me wrong, there were some really gnarly, cool looking spots in it, but I have not seen a single video or GIF or anything of any of them other than just what happened after.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I don't have anything to say about that. Cooper, do you have anything to say about the match itself before we get to that moment?
Your feelings about AEW ladder matches are pretty much how I feel, summed up too. If you've seen kind of one of them, you've kind of seen them all. Which is not to say that it's bad, but it does all kind of tend to blend together after a little while. And I feel like they use it as kind of a bit of a crutch when they don't have a real meaty kind of rivalry planned out. They'll be like, oh, well, put them in a ladder match. That'll really heat things up. So, but that being said, there were some some really cool stuff here. Jet Speed, in particular, I think was the standout team from this. And really could have justified winning it too, but I get why they kept it on Brodito. Let that train ride out a little bit more. Shout out to Hechicero for taking an ultimate weapon on a ladder bridge, which looked like it caved his face in. So that was really nice of him to do that.
For sure. I will say this, as we all are saying, what happened after the match. Jack Perry returned, attacked the Young Bucks. They get
who's this Jack Perry that you speak of?
The Jungle
Scapegoat.
Durr Scapegoat. I think you actually mean the Jungle Goat.
I was gonna say the Jungle Goat. Yeah.
Yeah. An amalgamation of the two. Attacks the Bucks. They attack them back, get them set up for the BTE trigger. Lights go out. We get a Dr. Frankenstein vignette package with Jack Perry scooping Luchasaurus from the ground and reviving him.
It was the same.
Yeah, beat too.
It was the same video package from when Luchasaurus returned, but they just didn't show Jack Perry in that one.
Nope, exactly. And then afterwards, he scoops up Luchasaurus, or Kill Switch. Luchasaurus comes out, takes out the Bucks, takes off the Kill Switch belt, throws it in the crowd. They embrace. Oh, Tarzan Boy reverberates throughout the arena. And let me say, this is a good thing. These two wrestlers are better as a tag team than they are as singles wrestlers. Though they are fine wrestlers on their own, they have more of a ceiling in the tag division. So I'm very
correction. Luchasaurus is a fine wrestler on his own.
Okay.
I saw Jack Perry versus Yota Tsuji in the Dome, live in person. Don't you dare tell me.
It's a 5-star classic. It's a 5-star classic.
It's a match I didn't even remember until he said that, actually.
Me too.
Off the screen right now.
Well, you got to factor in, Cooper. I'm not talking about their scapegoat. I'm talking about Jack Perry in 2021 when he wrestled Kenny Omega for the world title, and when he wrestled Christian and stuff like that. Jungle Boy is a different wrestler than Durr Scapegoat. If he could come,
that is fair, baby.
If he can do the flips that Jungle Boy does, but keep the stupid goat headgear and all the building stuff that he does in the Scapegoat, we got like the best of both worlds.
I'm worried he hasn't had time to practice his flips, though. He's been too busy, smelting or whatever it is that he does now.
You act like if you could smelt, you wouldn't be doing it too.
I don't get me wrong. Yeah, smelting's a fine profession, but I'm just saying it might get in the way of flips.
But yeah, what were you gonna say, Jack?
I was just gonna say, I think it's good that they're reuniting, but still like keeping these aspects of what they were like. I'm glad Jack Perry just didn't revert back or anything silly like that, and I'm glad Luchasaurus has
for sure.
to him still. I think it's cool that even though both of their little deviations weren't like the most well-received thing ever, they aren't just pretending that they're gone. I think Perry will be able to do something fun with this, even if we've all got our criticisms of him. I'm pretty excited to see where it goes.
Yep, I am too. But yeah. That was pretty good. Then we go to the main event. Hangman Adam Page versus Kyle Fletcher for the AEW World Championship. The Don Callis family is banned from ringside, and if they interfere, any member, Kyle would be stripped of the TNT title, which means we got a fully fair contest here. And I thought this was an excellent match. I think I'd be interested to Cooper would say, because he's notable Kyle Fletcher hater here. But I just can't believe, as someone who's watched Aussie Open for so long, that like this is a guy. Kyle Fletcher is main eventing one of AEW's biggest shows with Hangman, and nobody's batting an eye or thinking that's crazy, because it makes sense of how much good character work he's done. And this was a great match, and I think it was a perfect stamping point of King's Road style of you are not ready yet. No matter how good you aren't good enough yet, and you're gonna have to do more to get there. But what do you think, Cooper and Jack?
Well, I've had my problems, Kyle, for a while now. But those are mine and mine alone, and that shall stay between us. But no, in all seriousness, loath as I am to break kayfabe for a minute, this was awesome. This was a fantastic match, and yeah, Fletcher genuinely is like that good and that much of a standout talent. Has just gone above and beyond what I think anybody expected of him. When Aussie Open went on a break due to unfortunate circumstances, but I think that he is ready for that spot.
I think he proved it.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised even if he's the one to take it off of Hangman. later down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the lengths at which they went in this match to break their necks for that belt was really just something to behold, and made me like physically gasp and jump out from my seat on a couple of occasions. But yeah, there's absolutely more juice left in this Hangman Run. I mean, nobody at all was calling for Fletcher to get it this time around, certainly. Logan, I like the comparison that you bring up to that kind of like classic Kings Road, and also like early 2010s New Japan storytelling, of you try your best and you don't succeed, and so how will you come back stronger next time? So yeah, definitely I think this is the big money feud that they can draw out for the rest of this Hangman reign if they play their cards right.
For sure. And it was just a great way to end a pay-per-view night. I think Danielson's commentary with Callis the whole time was just awesome. I don't know. I just thought it was a very strong, like, it's not that, I mean, I expect this match to be great, seeing the competitors that were in it and stuff like that. It's just weird, because again, this is the first time Fletcher has ever main evented AEW pay-per-view, much less, I think, a pay-per-view, period. Like, I can't think of another time, like, unless he's doing, like, an indie, or like, especially not as a singles wrestler, So, it just...
Yeah, you might... I don't know that Aussie Open have ever main evented as a team before.
So,
anything that has been... like I'm sure they did some like Melbourne City wrestling,
Yeah. But like, yeah, it's crazy to see the rise in Fletcher and like him like legit, like people are saying like he might be a future world champion. I'm like, okay, maybe, and I'm like, yeah, this is like the dude.
You'd have to be stupid not to see it now.
Yeah, this is like he's legit. Like, not only is he great, like he might win the world championship before Ospreay at this point. And
I think that's how they're going to play it.
And that's like a crazy statement to make, And I'm still glad, and ultimately what made me most happy is him doing the pressers this week and him saying that he can't wait till Mark Davis comes back and Mark Davis sees his success as his success. Because, in my heart of hearts, I'm a huge Mark Davis boy. But, this match just in general, I'm always impressed by Fletcher, but I was even more impressed. I'm excited to see what they do with his TNT title run now, especially like giving him this main event push so soon after he won the belt. I'm very interested to see like how the rest of his run with that belt goes now. After this, him ultimately losing to Hangman. Hangman was the better man, So, but yeah, pretty good AEW pay-per-view. There was still some ups and downs. I don't think it's like their greatest of all time, but it's definitely nowhere near their worst. I give it.
Oh, for sure.
I give it I'd say either an A- or a B+.
Okay. Before we move on, what are we on the road to now? What's up next for AEW?
Wrestle Dream, I think.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
All right.
In Minneapolis?
Yeah, it's not in Seattle this year.
Yeah. Which I know that some posters on sites have some thoughts about. But,
what posters?
I think was it Winterweather Connor on Twitter was pretty upset about it. But
oh, I thought you said posters, as in like literal posters for Wrestle Dream. Because we don't have again, we just got done this pay-per-view. There's no I'm curious on who would be Hangman's next challenger. Or who you think would be?
Oh yeah,
at this point.
Yeah. I mean, there's any number of ways that they could go.
Because
MJF is kind of taken out of contention, I think, for the minute.
I think MJF, I think Fletcher for now, Mox for now too, because they already did the rematch. Swerve, Ospreay, Omega, all these guys are injured. I do think Omega could possibly be like his full gear opponent. They may run that back. but he's doing a lot of heel. So like, what heel at this moment do you bring up, or face, but like to have him, wrestle? Would you do another Death Rider? Would you maybe do Claudio? That could be an interesting thing. It'd be interesting.
I think they probably should come back to the thread of he because Hangman has said several times he wanted to face Mark Briscoe.
Yes, that does
in
make true.
The Forbidden Door match. And MJF manipulated his way into getting that match instead. But I would like for Hangman to kind of circle back around to that and finally live up to that promise that he had set.
Yeah, that would make sense. That could be something. You could definitely do a face versus face thing there. That'd be hard too, because I'd want Briscoe to win so bad, even though I love Hangman.
It would be really hard to do, but yeah. So that's probably why they might not do it.
For sure. But yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see where all these feuds go next. But any closing thoughts on AEW before we jump to the island of Japan?
Can we please, for the love of God, get at least one, like, it doesn't have to be one of the big ones, just one of the pay-per-views in Atlanta, Georgia, please.
Yes!
Oh, yes. Oh,
please.
Man. They never come down.
We've done Chicago. We've done Canada. Get down south, please.
They got to, right? And if they're going to do it, they got to do it in Atlanta. They've already done one in North Carolina. I mean, where else would they go?
I know, right? Yeah.
Maybe Nashville? But even then, I think the Atlanta crowd's bigger than the Nashville crowd.
It's absolutely bigger.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah. So tell us about this road to destruction, Mr. Jack.
Well, a lot has happened since we last were on the show, obviously. We had an entire G1.
That is true.
And it was all right this year. It was nothing super spectacular, but there were exciting moments for sure. I don't think there was anything I was super down on. I think, to give you the lay of the land real quick, I think the thing that most New Japan fans are upset about right now, more than anything, more than like any kind of AEW relationship or like not pushing young stars or anything like that, I think is just that since Goto lost the title back like 3 months ago, it's just been a little boring. Nothing much has happened, and that was even true through the G1. It's always true for a little bit after the G1, but it's sad that even the G1 itself was a little bit lacking. I think we'll get back. I think we'll get heated up soon, hopefully, because it's really actually strange how little we know about what's going to happen at Wrestle Kingdom besides the retirement and the Aaron Wolf debut. Normally, a lot more is set up by now, but I'm sure it'll all start to happen soon. Right now, we're on the road to Destruction in Kobe, which is already one of their least big pay-per-views. It's followed up by King of Pro Wrestling, which is probably one of the bigger four, and that's actually where Takeshita is going to be challenging Zack Sabre Jr. after winning the G1. So now we have this weird little transitional kind of main event, which is just 3 weeks before King of Pro Wrestling happens. In the main event, we've got Zack defending against Rin Narita, the second in command of House of Torture. House of Torture has been huge lately, guys.
I know it.
They're on top more than you would ever believe, and I think that's probably contributing in some ways to
the Don Fale.
That is true.
Yeah, I think in some ways that's contributing to people seeing this as a down period. I know everyone here knows that I'm a bigger fan of the house than a lot of folks. I know Cooper is too, and I think really we all three are actually. They have their issues, but for the most part, I like what they did. Obviously, Evil can bust out a really memorable match every once in a while if he needs to, like he did in that final, which was really something special.
Oh, for sure. Hey, Evil's the GOAT.
He's really good. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to rant about pre-destruction for just a little bit longer. I will say I really enjoyed that final. It was Evil versus Takeshita, the winner, obviously. And I saw someone say something that stuck in my mind lately. I can't imagine, a final, a G1 final that encapsulates what's going on in New Japan currently, like more than anything. You've got a mostly AEW guy versus the leader of House of Torture in a match that somehow still ends up working really well, despite everything going against.
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it though. And for Destruction, um, I'm actually excited about that main event because the match Narita had against Zack in the G1 was really good. It felt like Narita was finally finding a different side to himself where he could actually work like main event matches that don't just suck real bad. I think he's trying to figure out how to incorporate more Kanemaru stuff where he can do all his heel shtick without just making the match dreadful. So I hope we see that side of him in this actual main event rather than boring nothing Narita, which we see all the time. For the rest of the card, like I said, it's not anything super special. Coming up on Wednesday, we've actually got a little bit of a prelude, like they've been doing with the junior heavyweight titles a lot recently. It's called Battle Line Hokkaido, and they're doing the two junior championships on that show. It's Robbie Eagles and Kosei Fujita challenging the current junior heavyweight champions of House of Tortures, Doki and Sho. And then in the main event, it's Desperado versus Yo for the junior heavyweight championship.
Doki.
It should be exciting.
I forgot that Doki's in House of Torture until you
I forget
said
it until
moment.
I see it. Yeah,
That
it sucks.
Doesn't
It's actually
feel
really
right.
sad. No, it really stinks.
He was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion like a year ago.
Less than a year ago, yeah. Yeah. It's really weird. I think they probably just decided as over as he was getting. I think sadly it probably just comes down to after the injury they were like, well, he's not going to be the guy we're making the top junior, so might as well not even let him be a contender.
That's 100% right, and
Yeah.
I think that they were probably planning that even before the injury. Honestly,
Yeah, it's pretty sad how it's just faded away. But I mean, there's nothing you can really do about that. The truth is that as great as Doki is, there are a lot of other guys that are good in the junior heavyweight division right now. So it's hard to balance at all for a division that's already the smaller focus of the promotion. You can only fit so many people in, especially when they're doing this. I haven't been a fan of how they've been splitting off the juniors to these lesser shows for pretty much every show this year. It kind of actually sucks, but
yeah, the way that Super Juniors was formatted this year was really strange to me. I thought
they've been really getting the shaft.
Yeah, the way that the finals and how that was placed on Dominion or in conjunction from Dominion was like a stark contrast to I think the year previous where they main evented.
Yeah, I don't know. It really messed up Fuji's moment after already a pretty I don't know, after really Yo kind of already stole his thunder in the final. He was the one I was talking about, which I'm sure is what led to them giving him this match here. It's just juniors have been getting the shaft all year, like you said, Cooper. It's a little disappointing. But I think it'll probably be easy retains for both of these matches here. I don't see Desperado dropping it right now. Probably keep it until Wrestle Kingdom. I think he's about to tie Hiromu for second most defenses of all time after this match. I think I read that. I think Liger still holds number one. Yeah.
We'll see, brother.
Yeah.
Yo's taking it?
Yo's taking it. You aren't ready, man. He's gonna give Desperado the kiss of death. You just watch.
Okay.
I don't know. No, I don't actually believe that. But I mean, I don't know. With New Japan at any moment, I'm no offense, but with any moment with the junior division, I would not be shocked with any of these titles changing hands. The tag titles definitely have a chance of changing hands, more than the junior heavyweight. But Has Yo, maybe I'm misremembering, has he ever held the junior heavyweight title yet? Yo?
I don't think so. I don't think he has. He was probably going to during that match that he got injured in last year when he had like the big match against Show. It felt like they set up Show as the champion purely to give it a bit to Yo, but then he got injured in that.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I'm not ruling it out because like,
yeah.
Again, he's never held that title, and like of the stars in the junior division, I mean, he's been there forever, and there's definitely a huge part of the fan base that is a fan of him. As much as Despy is like, he's the most beloved. I mean, also we still are on the agenda of when is the Master gonna finally become Grandmaster and take his dang title at this point? I mean. It's been
and how many? He's too busy, tearing it up in the Nobora Betsu Rambo.
Oh yeah, and holding the prestigious 6-man championships.
Yeah. I need him to win. The bit finally has to come home at some point. We have to lay it to rest. It will not be laid to rest until he holds that title, man. Did I tell you when I was buying my Despe costume, I almost spent $50 on a toy replica of the junior heavyweight title from the token shop.
Wow.
But,
oh my god! Really?
But it was shipping literally from Japan, or like it was either Mexico or Japan, and I was like, I don't know if it's even gonna be here in time. And $48 is a little steep in this economy. So I was like, I'll hold off on that. But part of me was like, it would be so funny if I came on the podcast and I'm like a new strongest style champion with the junior title,
That'd be great. We should make that our championship.
Y'all pitch in, I'll order it, and then we can and I will ship it to the other person whenever they win predictions.
No, we should do a little like cardboard one, like how Shota did for the world title last year.
That would be fun. But yeah, anything else we got to say here before we wrap it up?
Well, I got to go through the whole main part.
Shoot, we haven't even gone through the card, have we? Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's fine. We'll find a way. I mean, I'm sure this will be less awkward once we're in a much more interesting season for New Japan. But for now, in Kobe World Hall this Sunday, we've got Destruction coming up. We got one undercard tag before we get to the main stuff, which is Shota Uemura and Yoshihashi versus Evil Dick Togo and Sonata. I don't know. It's this is mainly a little showcase for the alliance Yuya and Shota have had going on. They have tried to become a bit more of a tag team as the two young leaders of Hantai, and it is maybe working. I don't know. Not great, but I'm just not a big Shota fan. I'm like, every time he's on screen, I get the existential terror that he's going to be the one in the main event again this year.
Are we just, by the way, completely ignoring Shota's little like dark side moment that he had?
Yes.
The New Japan Cup. Okay, he's like
just doing the same thing again. Yeah.
Okay, well, it was a good try, I guess.
Sometimes I get the sense that like the reason things are being taken so slowly in New Japan is just because someone back there is really thinking nobody gets over until Shota gets over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they won't even allow anything else to happen. It's I don't know. It's just sad. Anyways, second match is Tanahashi's final road, where he has, famously been facing literally anyone and everyone he gets hands on. He's facing Okan. I guess maybe Okan is from around here. That's normally
the last
where
time.
I go. Yeah, for the last time ever in Kobe.
In Kobe, specifically, so you have to qualify that.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be probably bad.
What, you don't think he'll pull it out for
I don't think so.
Wow.
Tanahashi Loki is like in the opposite situation as what's been going on with Cena. As much as I love him, I think he is overexposed himself and trying so hard to get a match in every little town, because I'm like not even too excited. I mean, I'm excited for the retirement match, but I'm not excited for anything else that's going on these next 3 months. I don't know. That's how I feel, at least.
Yeah.
Third match though, we can move on to that. We've got a monumental never openweight championship defense. Where do you know about this, Logan? Do you know what I'm about to say?
Bolton Oleg versus who?
Don Fale for the never openweight championship.
Oh my!
Underboss, baby.
Fale
The
challenged
underboss.
the G1 final night. Fale got a pin over him and decided he wanted to take back the never openweight championship.
Take back. How many years
assuming
has
that
it been?
I was about to say, I'm assuming that he's been the never champion
He
before,
has.
actually. I
Yeah.
don't know if he has.
I'm pretty sure he has.
Yeah, it's obviously just a setup for Oleg to get some huge, like, stalled suplex and kamikaze moment against a real big guy. But man, I love Fale as, like, Evil's enforcer, but I cannot believe that he's getting a feature championship match on this card, man.
I mean,
Man, loyalty gets you far.
It gets you so far.
that's what you think, Jack. You think he's just getting a match? He's winning.
You can never count it out, dude. Never count it out.
That belt to Tamashi.
I'm
fourth match. Oh, sorry.
I'm fact checking to make sure Bad Luck Fale has ever won this title right now. So I'll let you know.
Okay. For now, the most exciting thing probably going on in New Japan right now is the the return of the former Youngblood, now the Knockout Brothers, KOB, Oscar Loibe, and Yuto Ice, who have returned as the new tag team of the War Dogs. They got a lot of swagger, a lot of excitement behind them. Yuto specifically has been getting a lot of acclaim on the web.
I cannot believe that I forgot about Yuto Ice when we were mentioning our favorite current wrestlers.
Yeah, he's been really exciting this tour. Even in the little preview tags, he's got a lot. Like, he's got a really cool kick-based offense that I don't think most people expected from him. And on top of that, obviously, he came in with the most charisma in the company immediately. And,
I don't know if this little, like, MMA background that they've cooked up for him is shoot or not, but
I've got no idea.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I hope they take it. I mean, I can't see why not. You know, sometimes New Japan is less willing to. Oh, they're facing Taichi and Ishii, by the way, the tag team champions right now, who are great, but also a nothing thrown together tag team like this division has had a stranglehold on for like the past 3 years. I hope that KOB can just win immediately and hold it down for a little bit, like GOD used to do, and like Techers used to do, and like pretty much at any point in time, there's just one team that is the team, and I hope it's them right now, because if not,
who else?
They've got a bigger problem. Yeah. Then we've got a few just simple, like, not preview tags, but matches to sort of supplement the Takagi versus Kid match. They let Tsuji get a rematch with Finley and Hiromu get a rematch with Ishimori. I don't want to talk about that because we've seen those matches before. And there's nothing really going into them. Hiromu won the GHC Junior Heavyweight Championship recently. That's pretty neat, but there's nothing else to say about that. The reason they're there, though, is to, prop up the Takagi versus Kid Global Championship match, which is very exciting. Takagi has done nothing but shit talk Gabe's absence in the G1, which, was maybe a real injury, but also, like people have said, he was busting his ass in that cage match.
In plenty of time.
Yeah, a few weeks later. So it's just a little, Kid standing is weird right now with the New Japan fans. Some people just think Takagi might take it off his hands and then he can sort of flutter away because it's in a Kobe crowd, Dragon Gate and everything. I think this match, like we already talked about Narita versus X, so I don't want to talk about that again. I want to hear your guys' opinions on what's going on with Kid right now to send it off, because that's probably the most interesting thing on this card, actually.
Yeah, Kid's gone. That's my genuine opinion. I would say before. Well, here's the thing. Ultimately, as much as Kid talks, and I do think he does love New Japan, and I think because it gave him a platform. But that dude is like most wrestlers, and he is very vocal about it. He is a money mark. You know what I'm saying? Like, the money talks, he's gonna be gone. It was just funny that, like, this is, like, the moment we all thought, like, okay, Finley's going to be kicked out. He's going to go to WWE. Kid's going to be the future for New Japan for
the next
4 or 5 years probably, and it's like, no, dude, he's in the Death Riders. Like, you know how ingrained you have to be in the Death Riders coming from Shota wasn't even in the Death Riders. Like, that's how insane this is. Yes. And the fact that he wrestled at Forbidden Door and missed the whole G1, do I think it was a fake injury? No, I don't think it was a fake injury. I think he probably did accidentally tweak something. You know, I don't, with the amount of people who were in that match that were injured, I don't think it was a fake injury. But, like, the fact that he was able to come back for that match, like, you missed the whole, virtually, if you miss the whole G1, you do not wrestle in the next AEW pay-per-view that's immediately after. You just don't wrestle. You know, they'll find somebody else.
And it's just that, everyone probably tweaked something during the G1. That's just how that tournament goes. And it shows more than anything just, like, obviously where his priorities lie, which is, not anything I'm going to get on him about. It's just, it is what it is at this point. It's a little frustrating to have this happen so often as a New Japan fan, but it's life. That's life. It's the way it is.
Bro, Tony saw that match versus Kenny, and he's like, all right, well, I guess I got to take you now. But I think he'll get like a joint contract, so he'll still do some New Japan stuff. But he's going to be like, he ain't going to do much more tours or anything like that. I'm pretty sure he's AEW bound by the end of this contract. So
I would be incredibly, well, actually, I'm not that shocked really, because they've been this incompetent before. But it would be shockingly incompetent of New Japan management to let this happen like a third time. Like, the guy just, came out with, the lion mark on his tights, right? And was the dark savior, the dark hero for Wrestle Kingdom. And, like, literally all it took was, him going off and doing the Death Rider stuff during Super Juniors when none of the heavyweights have anything to do. And, for him to suddenly, for, at least a good couple of months, become a centered, focal point of AEW television. So... And, if he does, he's got at least, like, 2 built-in feuds now with Darby and Eddie Kingston now that he's back over in AEW. But, yeah, I mean, it is genuinely, I think, and I'm not placing this blame on Gabe necessarily, because, it's a tough world out there, and you gotta, get what you can while you can. And quite frankly, I mean, New Japan is, economics-wise, not in a good spot right now, as is, basically no Japanese company. Not even just in wrestling, just period. So I think they have a lot of talent who are trying to look for work elsewhere. But, for that guy who so explicitly in his character, made it all about New Japan and had Tanahashi crying at the end of his match. It's I think kind of indicative of the problems of having such a clear like dominance of one particular region in professional wrestling over all the others at any given time. And that really sucks. And I hope that they can find a way out of it.
Yep. This is my bold prediction. Not only do I think his kid is gone within the next couple months, by January or February, I think in the next couple of years, not only is kid going to be gone, but all of the OG War Dogs will be in AEW. Connors and Drilla, I think, will be in AEW sooner rather than later. I think.
Ooh, that's a take.
I think Lube and Mr. Ice himself are going to be there for a while. I think Finlay actually stays for a little bit longer. I don't think he would go to AEW because I think he's got such a good.
I think Yeah, I think the time for Finlay to go was like last year.
Yeah, he's gonna stay, and if anything, if he goes anywhere, he'd go to WWE. But I don't even know if he does that now. But
yeah, anywhere that he goes, he's gonna get the Jeff Cobb treatment. Quite frankly.
Yeah.
Nah,
I hope
bro.
he sticks around.
He's gonna be the WWE Evolve AAA Mega Champion.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can watch him on Tubi every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, he's gonna be wrestling Timothy Thatcher and Jackson Drake.
Drake, yes. The swipe right guys.
Yeah. Brad Taylor, is it, or who's the like really strong guy who like does flips? They call.
How
him,
do you
like,
know
Osprey.
that much about swipe right?
That's not swipe right. That's a different guy. I remember when Evolve started. Never mind. This doesn't matter. We're just talking. We actually got to end the show because I gotta go, brother. I got a day job waiting for me. Thank you all for listening to the first episode of the Strongest Style Podcast, a professional wrestling podcast. This has been it from me, Cooper, and Jack. But if you want to follow us on social media, you can follow me at @ByLoganHurston on Twitter. You can follow Jack at Average Darth. Cooper doesn't have any social media, but Cooper, any last words?
It has been a hoot and truly history in the making on this first episode.
Yep. It is history making. We will be back next week for a brand new episode. Weekly episodes coming right at you. And who knows, maybe we'll shoot them to have video. And maybe if this does well enough, we could be seeing more and more content in the future. It depends on how well this show goes. But please, like, share it. We're a new podcast. Every little interaction goes a long way. Show it to your friends. Put it on your social media pages if you feel so inclined. Just show it to like your parents or something. Maybe they'll listen because they like, some striking young lads like ourselves. But thank you for listening. We will see you guys later. Goodbye and good night. Bang.